We have the makings of a new ultra scandal for Donald Trump. It is one where I can sum it up really concisely, and that is corruption at the highest level. Donald Trump has now fired 4 inspectors general in the last few weeks. The entire "I'm taking hydroxychloroquine" gambit may even be a sort of semi-deliberate attempt to take attention away, actually, from some of the things Trump is doing. And we've talked before about the question, what point is there in having inspectors general if Trump can just fire them when they're looking into something he doesn't want them looking into? And case in point, it appears that Donald Trump's firing of Inspector General Steve Linick was specifically because Linick was investigating a U.S. sale of weapons to Saudi Arabia that was fast-tracked by Trump's Secretary of State Mike Pompeo under the auspices of Trump declaring the situation with Iran an emergency back in 2019. Now, this is the type of story that doesn't get a lot of coverage. It doesn't get a lot of views. I would be shocked if this story does well on our YouTube channel or on Facebook, but it is alleged scandal at the highest level because the official statement was Linick was fired because he wasn't performing his job well. That's what Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said. There are now numerous lawmakers, even some Republicans, saying this doesn't make sense. This doesn't pass the sniff test. This was all to cover up a dirty arms deal with Saudi Arabia to get around congressional approval of that deal. So the allegation goes that back in 2019, Trump made an emergency declaration specifically to clear the path for $8 billion in military arms sales to Saudi Arabia and United Arab Emirates. The emergency declaration was with regard to Iran. The goal was, as the story is being alleged, that by declaring an emergency, the arms deal doesn't need congressional review. In fact, both the House and Senate passed resolutions blocking the sale, but Trump vetoed the resolutions and kept the sale going with this emergency declaration. We even have Republicans concerned, like Senator Chuck Grassley, that the explanation for why IG Linick was fired isn't making any sense. So admittedly, we're just at the start of this. We only have a sort of cloudy picture of what went on. It could be much worse than what I'm telling you. It could be different. There could be more to it. But it is also in the mix that Mike Pompeo was refusing to cooperate with this investigation by IG Linick. And we've since found out that as part of his investigation, the IG started looking at claims that Mike Pompeo was doing things like, for example, having State Department employees walk his dog, pick up his dry cleaning, and make dinner reservations completely outside the scope, of course. That would be something that he should hire some kind of personal staff for, not use State Department staff. So this could be as simple as Pompeo wanted to get Linick out of the way because Linick was looking into Pompeo's dog walking misuse of staff time. It could be way worse in that it was part of a bigger conspiracy to get around congressional approval to do an arms deal. But there are a whole bunch of big corruption stories here. And first, the fact of what went on with this specific arms deal and emergency declaration and the IG firing and the investigation, that needs to be figured out. That's this story. Number 2 is the ongoing hypocrisy of Republicans with regard to IGs in general under Obama. Many of the same Republicans that now stand aside as Trump fires IG after IG. A lot of those same Republicans, when it was Barack Obama, were saying, we need to empower inspectors general and we need to make sure that a president can't get rid of them. They are silent now. They are silent now. And these IG firings so far, this one we're still figuring out, have been clear political retaliations. And then lastly, there's just the sniff test, as I like to call it. You don't fire 4 inspectors general in a few weeks under normal circumstances. Trump is taking apart every oversight mechanism that we have, and he's getting away with it. Trump will say, listen, these IGs were never Trumpers. They were tools of the left, and he'll get away with it. Enough people hate Democrats on principle so much that they will let him get away with it. Call it brainwashing, call it hyperpartisanship, whatever you call it, he's getting away with it unless we vote him out in just a few months. Privacy.com is one of our sponsors, and they're giving you $5 just for using their free service at privacy.com/Pakman. Privacy is a service I've been using for a while now. I love it. It saves me a bunch of headaches. It's completely free and it's very quick to set up. And here's how it works. When you pay for something online or over the phone, instead of exposing your real credit card number, privacy lets you generate virtual card numbers. The payments are withdrawn from your checking account, but your real card number stays completely private, and you do it all with one click. You can autofill the card number in your web browser, on the phone. You can create 12 virtual cards a month. You can set spending limits, freeze them, delete them whenever you want. I especially love it for free trials where you need to give a credit card number, because I can destroy the virtual card number as soon as I give it to the company, and I know I won't be charged in the future. If you're ordering food over the phone, why do I need to give a restaurant my real card number if I don't have to? Companies don't have to know who you are. Your real credit card number is protected from the data breaches that happen, unfortunately, more often than we would like, and it's completely free. They do have a paid version with different tiers where you can create more virtual credit card numbers per month, cashback rewards, extra security features. But go ahead and sign up for the free service. It's a no-brainer. Companies can't charge you unexpectedly. You're protected from identity theft. It costs you nothing. And privacy is giving you $5 to spend just for signing up when you go to privacy.com/Pakman.